Isang hindi malilimutang laban sa kasaysayan ng boxing noong dumayo ang nooy Pinoy World Champion sa United Kingdom para depensahan ang titulo kontra sa isang undefeated challenger ng Britanya. Isang laban kung saan ipinamalas ni John Riel Quadro Alas Casimero ang kanyang tapang, karanasan at puso ng isang Pinoy champion laban sa isang malalayon. At walang bahid ng kartada, ito'y walang iba kundi si Charlie Edwards. Dito, pangarap ng Briton na maging world champion at nais agawin ang IBF Super Flyweight title sa harap ng kanyang mga kababayan. Wala pa lang sa pambungad na hakbang, ramdam na ang tensyon. Si Edwards, nakataas ang noo, suportado ng buong sambayan ng Briton. Ngunit si Casimero ay tahimik, ngunit matalim ang tingin. Parang isang mandirigmang sanay sa gera. Dahil hindi lamang ito pagdedepensa ng titulo, kundi para rin ipakita sa mundo na kaya niyang panatilihin ang pandaigdigang titulo kahit teritoryo pa ng kalaban. Mabilis ang simula ni Edwards.
Lee Haskins is on later and Jamie McDonald.
Gumamit siya ng footwork, jab at bilis. Tila ba sinusubukang ipahiya ang kampeon mula sa Pilipinas. Ngunit si Casimero hindi natinag. Hindi siya nagpapanik. Sa halip, pinag-aaralan ang kilos ng kalaban. Dinadama ang ritmo ng laban. At binabasa ng maigi ang galaw ni Edwards.
All over the world.
Vast experience, and he's going to look to make Charlie Edwards uncomfortable, knowing he hasn't been in with the quality as a professional at this level.
Right hand already, trying to
use the height, the reach, everything he needs to do in this. But once that bell goes, and you know, we're seeing here, Casimero's actually getting up to him closer a little bit earlier than what I expected. I thought he'd take, look, another right hand. I was expecting it to be a little bit more.
Casimero throwing some big shots. He looks like he's looking to make an explosive statement right off the jump.
We're going to see a lot about Charlie Edwards tonight.
He's 23. He could be mistaken for 16 or 17, and maybe he feels he's a bit tough for his slender physique. We'll find out more here as he tries to get the ring movement flowing. Edwards, Casimero closing down the distance, looking to hurt him early.
Yeah. It seems like Charlie's still trying to settle into the fight. Oh, and then big right hand, nice right hand there by Casimero.
No idea.
No, absolutely not. He's trying to stick out his jab. I'd say with Charlie, he's a little bit tight right now. He's got to use some feints in there. He keeps coming up short with the jab. Maybe use some feints in there. Relax.
He's very young, very inexperienced, very green. The undercard that he's on, it takes a lot of maturity for him to go out there and implement a game plan that he's been working on for.
I really agree with you, Dave. I would like to observe how he gets things going.
He's been so confident, Charlie Edwards, since he took the challenge. He accepted it straight away. He watched the plodder.
Sa round number 2, nagsimulang magpakawala ng counter si John Riel Casimero. May ilang kanan na tumama sa katawan at ulo ni Edwards. Bagamat mabilis si Edwards, unti-unting nararamdaman ang presensya ni Quadro Alas.
See how Charlie's still coming up just a little bit short with the jab. So I'd like to see him change the rhythm on that jab a little bit. Sometimes don't always throw it so hard, and then see if you get a reaction out of Casimero. Maybe you can counter his counter off with that.
And Casimero trying to drag him in, Dave.
He's got to be careful with this guy.
Yeah, no matter how fast it is.
Boxing exhibition. That was the idea from Team Edwards. To implement it. Lost the first, didn't he?
You see, he's heavily relying on that jab. Maybe even double up the jab. If you're not going to feint with, also Casimero's looking to punch off of your move. He's looking to try. Like I said earlier, you can counter off of his shot.
Seeking out right hand again, Casimero, just trying to get his combinations flowing.
Yeah.
It's an unusual style, isn't it?
Every shot he throws is
especially a big right hand, right there. Lure it out of him and then get ready to counter it, and then counter with a big shot yourself when he throws the right hand. Because Charlie is a taller guy; he can pull up.
A lot to run that jab. He's not making use of his height.
Yeah, the same speed. He's throwing that same speed jab. He can really
work hard to get in range to hit him, which you would hope that early doors, Charlie would make him work hard, use his legs.
Sa ikatlong round, pumapasok na si Casimero. Sinimulan niyang i-pressure si Edwards sa ropes, bumibitaw ng mga body shots at over right hand. Si Edwards ay patuloy na umaatras pero hindi makaporma ng maayos.
To be able to somehow fathom a way to take this title much further down the track, Paulie.
The jab is part of the repertoire here, and it's part of the game plan. And I see him doubling adjustments that I think he has to make.
Return. Get your jab off. If he's not there, then get your feet out of there.
Hunting the body as well. Casimero. The first defence of the IBF 112-pound title that he won against the unbeaten Nat Ruderong in Beijing. And before that he held the light flyweight crown. So he's been operating, well, he's only had those English Wilton, but it is such a leap up. He's doing leather against Golovkin in levels.
Yeah, you've got to think about, big fights along the way. But, it's refreshing to see kids that coming out of Team GB wanting to take a big step to test. Maybe sometimes you look at a video, you look at tape of fighters, and you don't as good as what they are. They get in the ring and they read fights a little bit better.
Your career, I'm thinking about Miguel Cotto and so.
In the ring with those guys, and the fights are tougher. I don't really see Charlie panicking. I just feel like he has to believe in himself a little bit more. I think he has the sharper of the two, a better boxer. He just has to believe in his punches behind that jab. Either more jabs, or Casimero is wasting less.
Catching for the judges, Dave.
I'm catching with that. Work hard on what he needs to be or wants to be doing.
Sa round number 4, gumanti si Edwards. Mas naging agresibo, bumibitaw ng maraming kombinasyon. Tumatama ang ilang left hooks, ngunit walang masyadong epekto ito para kay John Riel Casimero.
Really big, strong team around him has all week. Sean Gibbons, his agent, was telling me he's been through a lot in his life and he's ready for anything Charlie Edwards can throw at him. He was saying himself, Casimero, that he was once like Edwards and he admires his...
He's a champion that believes in himself.
Riot too in the ring in Argentina when he beat Luis Alberto Lazare for the interim. It all kicked off, and I think Sean Gibbons broke a couple of ribs in there. There was a big punch.
When you beat these fighters in their house, their fans aren't too.
There's nothing like that's gonna happen. So
big right hand again. He tried, and a tough upper hard on the streets of Cebu City. And just started to dig in some body shots and really winging them.
You see,
big uppercut, and Edwards felt that, and that's a breakthrough there for Casimero. Just staggered Edwards, and now he knows.
Closing up your defense, closing yourself up, making yourself a smaller target. He's trying to escape so much. Casimero's just doing less work and putting him in position to set him up for other offense.
This is what I like about Casimero.
There's a swagger, isn't there? There's a cool, calm, methodical approach. 14 stoppages he has, and that's a body shot, which is going to slow.
I remember a great trainer, Teddy Allen, showing the legs. He's going to have to settle down and start to catch shots. So you're not going to be able to make him pay the way you need to pay, the way he needs to pay to lose some confidence. You got to force Casimero to break his confidence.
He is cut though. Casimero, left eye. Well, there's something that's gone wrong for the champion.
Pagdating ng round number 5, si Casimero ay tila nakahanap ng tiyempo. Dalawang beses niya nayanig si Edwards. Sa round na ito, gamit niya ang kanan.
The note that I just saw there, the first shot that Casimero came out and threw was the right hand to the body.
And that's the thing, Dave, right? When you got an opponent who keeps moving and using his legs, you take the air right out of the tires. You keep going to the body. And Casimero doing what a veteran would do.
And the thing is, he's using his speed to get himself into range, to pick those spots, to take those shots.
It's very clever seasoning against youth and ambition and maybe freshness. But is this turning into real man against boy challenger? That's come a people to say, have you got a flyweight that John Riel Casimero can fight? No. He thought Charlie Edwards is a bit young, maybe he'll go for a European title next, but Charlie took it, and Danny Vaughan has got the belief that he can pull this off over the 12 rounds. But he's got a long, long way to go.
Right here, you want to see Charlie be first in these kind of moments. Especially when Casimero misses. You got to initiate the offense right back.
Waiting for the counter.
Well, when Edwards has stepped in with that jab, he's leaving his back foot a little bit forward behind, just making it look.
Casimero, who's moved from Cebu City, but he's really a man of the world.
Good shot right here from Charlie.
He needs a little bit of confidence.
And it's about that, isn't it? Win too early, too soon, maybe to something that you've got to find it.
Yeah, absolutely. And eventually you're going to have to make a decision that you were going to refuse to lose. If Charlie starts to continue to lose these rounds, he's getting the world title tonight, or am I going to take more? Jabs that he's shooting are terrific, but a lot of them are not landing the way they're not following them up with anything substantial.
It is Charlie Edwards doubling up the jab, but still he's dangerous, Casimero.
And that's the thing, if he can get away from not getting hit with right hands like that, he would win the round on controlling the distance. But Casimero works about 1/3 left and a big right hand here and there, and it'll match whatever Charlie's doing. because Charlie can win the round on controlling the range if he doesn't allow himself to get hit.
Pagsapit ng round 6, naging taktikal ang laban. Si Edwards ay bantay na bantay, samantalang si Casimero ay matyaga pa rin sa paghahanap ng butas. At dito, mapapansin ang mahabang pasensya ni John Riel Casimero na mabuting inaaral ang mga galawan ni Charlie Edwards at hindi siya padalos-dalos.
So the judges at rate or accuracy, that last round probably Edwards is, but these ones could be split a little bit, Paulie.
Casimero looked comfortable pressing the action and land shots.
See, even if Charlie's not doing a whole lot here, if he's controlling the range with his jab, if he can just do this and avoid getting hit with too many big shots or any big shots during the round, he'd win the round on the activity, on the controlling the range, Yeah, you just don't allow Casimero to get into any comfort zone. Casimero can try, he can miss, you can keep controlling.
Paulie, he could begin to frustrate Casimero.
Exactly.
But here's a lot of power to keep him off with just the 3 knockouts at a lower level.
Well, maybe he doesn't, but if you're not landing punches, if you're missing like this and then Charlie's continuing to bury you with his jab, you're going to lose rounds and you lose, you win the fight.
See, you look at Casimero, how he's loaded up on every single shot. Surely as the fight goes on, if he keeps missing these shots, he's going to get tired, he's going to get ragged. And then maybe that's where Charlie's fitness and youth and energy could take over.
See, Casimero's starting ahead as he's missing more of those headshots.
A statement early that Edwards would fold as he lands another body shot, but
Time so far.
he's showing grit, isn't he, Edwards? His composure, stick to the tactics, no real panic though.
No, he may look like a young baby, but you look at him and how he's fighting, he's showing a lot of toughness in there. He's showing like he's fighting like a man, which is what he needs in this fight.
He's getting more confident in the right hand. His corner did say start using more of the right hands, and he's getting more confident in shooting that right hand.
Win or lose this, it could be the making of Charlie Edwards.
This will bring him on underfold, it really will. These are the fights that young fighters learn. Whether it's a world title fight or not, whether you win it or not, he's going to improve.
Just a bit of ripping around the left ear of Charlie Edwards.
Another thing he did in the corner.
Sa round number 7, nagbago ang ritmo ni Edwards. Mas naging maingat, halos takbuhan na ang estratehiya. Pero nasundan siya ni John Riel Casimero at pinapakawalan ni John Riel Casimero ang ilang mabibigat na suntok at dito, unti-unti na napapagod ang Briton.
Dare I say, for the first time looked a little befuddled that round.
Good right hand to the head though. We'll watch the Edwards. Is he going to take risks? Is he going to get back behind that jab?
And he's getting it now. Why? Both times he got hit with right hands this round, he was going to his left. Great job with that.
See, the last 2 rounds I've actually given Charlie the last 2 rounds because he's implemented what Danny's been wanting him to do. He has kept away from that right hand and he has stuck to his boxing and picked it on.
Casimero did lose to Angas in June last year, but apart from that, recent form has been knockout form. A win in 11, a win that he has, and he hasn't taken Edward feel that down the stretch he'll still have enough if he continues to land the body shots like that.
Something that might come into play later on, Adam. Casimero's got a history of struggling to make this weight.
Yeah.
Now, you don't know how he's made the weight. He normally struggles to make the weight, then odds are he could have struggled on this one.
In his career, one time he was 5 3/4 pounds above the weight limit.
So that's not a guy that makes his weight limit easy.
A meal that wasn't healthy either.
It's a good little body shot.
It's going to be tough. A little bit of time ago by Steve Gray, but he's starting to just get through, and Edwards felt that. Oh, big shots here from Casimero, and Charlie Edwards has to hold on. Experience and knowledge and know how to do it.
He keeps ducking the same way. Casimero knows he keeps throwing the uppercut. Charlie has to make an adjustment in the way he's slipping that shot.
In the last couple of sessions, Edwards.
Or at least if he's going to duck that way, put his hand in front of his face, palm down, so you catch the uppercut.
Was that inexperience, Dave?
8 fights. You don't learn these sort of things until it comes fight situation.
Palm facing the floor, open glove, and what happens? You'll catch the uppercut at least.
Big hooks going in from Casimero, who feels he's more powerful, stronger, and in charge. And look at that.
Sa round number 8, sinusubukan muling sumabay ni Edwards. Ngunit si Casimero ay parang hayok na patumbahin ang challenger na Briton. Tumama ang kaliwat kanan at niyuyugyug ang challenger. Dito nagsisimulang tumahimik ang crowd. Parang nararamdaman na nila ang posibleng pagtatapos na kanilang pambato.
It's close, just don't be there to get hit.
The thing is, Dave, he's already been hit with that earlier hard assault to start.
as the body shot again. Shown a decent chin here, as you said earlier, Dave, Charlie Edwards, but can he take sustained punishment as he gets towards the championship rounds? Could this be the one?
Yeah, that's quite possible. The thing is, he's had a couple of good rounds on the bounce, and his confidence will have been raised. And then he's just had a nightmare round before, and this round he's taking some big shots as well. So he's got to get that confidence back. That's especially when you're a young fighter, you need to have that confidence.
You see how Casimero just sticks out those touch shots, and he's just looking for a reaction. Not always throw the jab so hard, put out those touch shots and see the reactions you get. Casimero is actually doing it to him there. Big right hand.
It's another one. Oh, and he's just gripping down on that gum shield, Charlie Edwards, and in the amateur ring and in the young pros. But this is real, and this is world championship level, and it is tough, Paulie. You've been there so many times.
Yeah, and Charlie now is using his legs. He's just trying to escape. He's going to beat the willingness to win out of Charlie, or if he's going to try to survive, it becomes as difficult.
Better work from Edwards there. Can he sustain it? He had a good couple of rounds in the middle of the... A little bit affected, maybe confidence-wise. What are you thinking there?
Yeah, definitely his confidence is affected. You know, he kind of like not looking for a way to win the round, win the fight. You know, he needs to have a little bit of success. He's showing bags of courage, he's showing bags of heart in there, and to be honest, a really good chin.
Sa round number 9, pinilit ni Edwards ang depensa, pero si Casimero ay parang hindi pa rin napapagod.
He's in with wide over the top right hand, so if you're blocking with your left hand, so if he does catch the Casimero right hand with left hand, he can shoot back with the uppercut and left hook. I like the instruction. Edwards needs to be consistent with his jab on the outside, not take back with the counter. I do believe Casimero needs to be countered to be domesticated a little bit.
Yeah, the only problem with that is, you know, as a young kid, he's had the confidence as low to have the confidence to stand there and look at blocking and countering straight off, put yourself in that danger zone. Sometimes at this stage of a fight, the confidence might not just be there to...
It might have been beaten out of him at this point. You're right.
Still stalking forward, Casimero. Edwards attempting the jab, utilizing his feet, moving as free as he can. Rat-a-tat, get the punches home. Now he's crafted since an 11-year-old, really good member of Team GB. Had a great rivalry with Jack Bateson and showing some skills here, Edwards.
Right, no, at the moment, no. And the worrying thing is that you know, he's not got the experience of look at that, the body shots that he's taken there. They hurt and they stay with you.
And this is what it is to be a top pro and a top amateur. You know, sometimes people see the Olympics that just passed and they see the handful of pros that were there look bad and they say, oh, well, maybe the amateurs can compete 12-round fight. This is the thing about being a pro. The sustained attack and 12-round fight. The little nuances, the little adjustments one day. But it seems like this is going to be a learning fight for him tonight.
I think what will have knocked the confidence in the whole camp, whole corner team, everything, is I don't think they expected. Obviously, I'm sure they expected to win the first few rounds with his feet, with his fast jab, you know, for the first 4 or 5 rounds, and then I'm sure they expected it to become a hard fight where he had to show his guts after.
This right hand there by Edwards a second ago.
Topspin of it, bellowing instructions to Ching when he does land. There's real camaraderie in that blue corner.
And notice Casimero cutting the ring off, making Edwards work 2 or 3 times as hard. Everybody's convinced that Casimero will tire and Edwards won't.
Sa round number 10, dito na binuhos ni John Riel Casimero ang lahat sa loob ng unang minuto ng round. At maya-maya pa,
There was about 26 fighters in Britain. Now,
isang left hook ang bumulaga sa pagmumuka ni Charlie Edwards. Dito bumagsak ang challenger. Dito, tumayo pa rin si Charlie Edwards. Ngunit huli na ang lahat. Dahil mahalin tulad si John Riel Casimero sa isang pating na nakaamoy ng dugo.
He's giving him every opportunity. Every opportunity. Casimero wants to get on with it. There's over a minute left. He's got to hold. Does he have the experience to hold? Can he recover from that? I don't think so. Steve Gray holds.
Dito, tinapos na ni John Riel Casimero ang laban. Isang TKO victory para kay Quadro Alas. Matagumpay na nadepensahan ang titulo sa teritoryo ng kalaban. Isang malamig na gabi sa London, ngunit nagliliyab ang puso ng bawat Pilipino sa buong mundo. Pinatunayan ni John Riel Casimero na hindi hadlang ang home court advantage o ang undefeated record ng kalaban. Ang puso, tapang at karanasan ng isang tunay na kampeon ang nanaig. Sa kanyang ika-4 na matagumpay na pagdepensa ng titulo, muling isinulat ni John Riel Casimero ang kanyang pangalan sa kasaysayan ng boxing. Hindi lang bilang isang kampeon, ngunit isa sa pinakamagagaling na boksingero ng Pilipinas.